think one of the major things I also see in companies is where, um, you know, they think they need X, Y, and Z tools, right? We need a Salesforce, we need a Marketo, we need a HubSpot. Whereas, depending on how big you are, you just need one of them. You don't need all three of them. It's just irrelevant. There's so much overlap between these tools, and I'm pretty sure you guys point it out all the time. But to me, those are the big ones that I always see coming back and coming back, and I see the underutilization where Marketer is just being used to send a newsletter, a Salesforce is being used to just have a CRM, and then, but what's HubSpot then? Yeah, we don't know. We just we just have it. The data gets flows to there. Okay, so there's no need to pay upwards to $5,000 or $10,000 per month on HubSpot, if not more. Sometimes it's crazy. So I feel like you made a good point here, and you pointed out the need for businesses to do it. Now, here's the question: why don't businesses reflect on this as much? Like, why keep bleeding that money?
I'll tell you why. So the number one reason is that it's hard. So let's think about this. If I want to go into a department and I want to tell them that something that they have been using, they can no longer use, I'm going to face a lot of conflict. And people generally don't love that. It's the reason that people like Accenture and Deloitte and McKinsey exist. They exist so that I can say to somebody else, no, we got McKinsey in. They are telling us we need to do this, not me. So Samplify to some degree performs that role. Our system is able to give you the data and you'd say, oh, Sean, I'm sorry you're getting rid of HubSpot. It's not because I don't want you to get rid of HubSpot, but look, you can see from this report that we don't need it. And then the great thing is with our system, if you want to, if the end user has an argument that they want to put forward as to why they can keep it, you can literally send it to our AI and it will understand the rebuttal and it will give you a workaround or a plan, or it'll explain to them why they can. So we have basically an AI called Sam, as you say, not Sam Altman, but it's just Sam at Samplify. And you just email Sam. You literally send the email that the coworker sent you and you send it to Sam, and Sam will come back with an explanation of why you can get rid of that tool or why you don't need to buy that tool. Stuff that is very, very political. So the honest answer is it puts, normally without something like Samplify or without McKinsey, you put the individual in a very vulnerable political position where you're asking them to go into battle with somebody about something they're not that passionate about, to force the other person to change their behavior. And it's exhausting. Whereas if you bring in something like Samplify, we give you all the tools to do that. And we take a process, as I said, like Deloitte said they saved a year with us. We save people months and months of time on every single engagement we do, because we take a process that could take 6 months and we can do it in like less 20 minutes.
In terms of, you're talking about the process in terms of evaluating whether the software is necessary or not, and evaluating whether you should be reducing certain software. That's the process you're talking about, I believe.
But both those two things, and being able to handle any objections that are coming from the organization. So again, if you brought a consulting firm in to do this with you, you're going to be working on a series of face-to-face or Zoom-based workshops for hours and hours and hours. If you bring us in, you just do that, which is just send an email to us. And how long?
Let's double click on that process and really like shrinking it down, right? You mentioned, okay, or we both came to the conclusion, it's not just reducing the software, it's not just analyzing, but you guys have a database essentially. You guys have a database, you have a smartness, you can compare, and you can come to not just a calculated decision backed up by data, but you actually can bring up reasons, or you can bring up arguments that kind of can dissuade the pain points that you're saying, or the objections essentially, right? Because the team is going to revolt. The moment you say, hey, you can't have this tool or that tool, they're going to be like, hey, I need my tool back. So how do you handle those objections? Because honestly, I think any leader that's in charge of this, or any team that is in charge of making the organization more faster, fitter, more efficient, would like to know, hey, how can I get my team off my back when I'm trying to cut
share something? Can I briefly share something? If I can show you in 2 seconds. So basically, you literally send an email to Sam. You say, "Hey Sam, we're moving from this PDF thing to this PDF thing. Can you create a replacement plan including feature overlap, missing features, key use cases, and the migration steps?" And so it sends out that email. It tells you all the things it does. It does all the stuff you need to do. Here are some features that are missing. It explains the solution. So it hasn't done this feature, but knowing all the software that you have, you can just integrate it with SharePoint. And it gives you evidence that you can do that. It hasn't got this feature, so don't worry, you can integrate it with DocuSign, which we know you've got, and it explains it. Here are all the use cases, how you do the real-time collaboration, and here is the migration guidance within your ecosystem, and here are some success stories of how to do it. And then here's all the reference data so you know how we came up with that. So it does that in one simple email. And it does everything. Again, every one of those steps could be weeks of work or months of work. It does it all. Boom, done.
I think any person, if they take the time for it, they can do it.
No, 100% you can. No question. This is what we've done is just automate what you would have to do. We don't do anything magic. We don't have any secret sauce. Our secret sauce is we've got weapons grade engineers building something to look at software. That's our secret sauce. And it doesn't use a large language model to think. It uses a very specific set of agents that we created to do this job.